Beep. Nancy.
Hey there, and howdy, everybody, and welcome to Retro Repair Roundup, episode number 54.
Yeah.
Hold on. I was burping. Anyway, I'm done with the hat for now. So, yeah, welcome, and I want to say thank you to all the people in the chat who are stopping by to say hi and hello and all that. We've got the Toiletist, which is funny because earlier today, if you look very closely at their logo, they took one of the products off my website because it looks like a toilet and they made that their icon. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I love it. Anyway, we got Everything is Broken Garage, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
As a tastemaker in this community, as someone who likes to put a mark on like a brand or something like that, for the sake of linguistic simplicity from now on, the toiletiest toilet is Louie Louie.
Louie, got it. I love it. Do y'all get it? Anyway, we got Jack68K, Gut Bomb, Mac Effects, Garth Beagle, CDI, Francois Revel, Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack, Josh Clark, Rich Bright, Eric Rangel, Retro Techie, and probably some other people. And if I forgot them, anybody else in the chat, I apologize. Also apologize if I'm a little less energetic than normal today, because I'm literally less energetic than normal. So I apologize. Speaking of less energetic, our wonderful friend Trina, our show mom, who helps make sure our show happens, is out tonight for a mental health day. She needed to take some time off to do the things she needed to do. So let's say hello this evening to our wonderful two guests. We have two guests tonight because there's two special things going on. One is we have Thomas of Amiga of Rochester, because Thomas is awesome. We've never had him on the show before, so we figured we would have him on to talk about what he is doing in his wonderful world. And we also have Justin D. Morgan, the wonderful, as I call it, showrunner of this year's April Apples. And since it is now full in effect, and I got my Apple II shirt on, we're going to start with Justin to give us a real quick talk about April Apples. And as you can see, he's even got his logo going. So Justin, tell us about April Apples this year.
All right. So last year we had this little thing called April 2, and for various reasons, we ditched the name. You couldn't put it in a hashtag the way you wanted to. Kind of hard to spell. Kind of hard to decide how to say it.
Yeah.
It's like all around reasons to get rid of the name. So this year we have, remember, YouTubers can't point. We have April Apples. Yeah, no, it's usually like, I don't know. Yes, April Apples, the month the month for all the Apple 8-bit computers.
Yes.
So whether you have an Apple II, Apple II Plus, Apple IIe, Apple II GS, Apple IIc, an Apple III, Apple One, I'm sure I'm going to miss something in this list.
Yes.
An Apple IIe card for your LC, Franklin Ace, a laser, one of the other clones, an illegal clone like computer, or even emulation. All things that you can use to celebrate the 8-bit apples. Yes, Joe's got the shirt, and I have I was right the first time, and I second-guessed myself. And I have the on-screen logo that, well, it's floating in front of me.
Yes.
Now, is it okay during this month if I also exploit the 16-bit modes of my Apple II GS? Will that get me drummed out of the community, Justin?
It might void your warranty, but it will not get you drummed out of the community. Yes, the 16-bit mode of your Apple II GS is fair game.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Rules.
Yes. The Apple II, of course, known as the or the Apple One, really, but the Apple II being the big machine that really helped Apple exist as a company. and was their cash cow from 1977 until 1993. One of the longest running single computer architectures that has ever existed.
Yeah.
Not even Commodore 64 can touch that.
No.
Mhm.
So get out there this April. Play with your old Apple 8-bits. I would love to see a lot of Apple III related content this year.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge being you have to have an Apple III, and those are hard to find.
Although you can emulate it.
You can emulate the Apple III. You can do that. You can
3D print one small.
add one and then run an Apple II. I don't know. But 3D print it, yeah.
And remember, you
It'll
don't
work
have
about
to
as
be.
well.
You don't have to be a YouTube content creator to enjoy April Apples. Maybe you are a photographer and you have a Flickr. There you go. You take some designer photos of your Apple II or Apple III. Maybe you have a blog. Maybe you have a Vimeo or some other non-YouTube video channel. I know that's sacrilege considering we're streaming on YouTube. All fair game for April Apples. So don't feel like just because you don't create videos that you can't participate, even if it's like a Twitter thread.
Thread, blog posts,
Exactly.
Anything like that.
Just make sure you use the hashtag April Apples.
Justin, is there a website that I could go to maybe learn more information about the event and how to participate?
You can go to aprilapples.net.
Cool.
Nice.
Apples.net.
Yes.
So
There
Joe,
you go. And we'll put that up on the screen.
Joe, when you said content of Apple or Apple 3, you mean various ways of dropping them, right? And to get them to work?
Yes. Yes.
Because I have one in my basement. It'd be, just drop it on some concrete. We'll see if it works, right?
Yes.
Oh,
why not?
I heard that somebody in the New York area dropped one the other day. might have been on the news, I think.
I think they dropped it just a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. That's sad. Anyway, so cool. So get out there and do it. So I'm going to switch to our guest number 2, a guest du jour, Thomas of Amiga of Rochester. How you doing, Thomas?
I am good. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. We've been running the show for a while. Haven't had you on before, so we figured we would have you by and tell the community, those in the community who don't know who you are, a little bit who you are, how you got into your hobby, and kind of what you're doing for the community.
So don't let the name fool you. I know, despite it being Amiga of Rochester, we work a lot on Macintoshes and other systems. So I got my start, like everyone else, kind of watching YouTube videos. I had picked up locally an Amiga 2000. It needed some repair work. Naively, I spent 2 months figuring it out 4 years ago, and I was like, I could do that for other people. Naively started doing it for other people, and here I am 4 years later. I've worked on over 100 Amiga 2000s. I've repaired many Amiga 4000s, 3000s. Work a lot on Macintoshes these days. Everything from classics, classic 2s, SE30s, resurrected probably about 20 color classics, 575s, that era. And we're starting to get into selling products for Amiga. So we have individual computer products, icomp.de. We'll be domestically shipping them. So pricing will be a lot easier for people. That's everything from accelerators to controller adapters. And then we'll also be offering some other products down the line.
Cool. Awesome.
Very nice. And honestly, Thomas, the Amiga community in the US is really underserved. I just feel like there are people that are out there that that kind of offer repairs or maybe offer a little advice on things, but it's really it's not often that you see someone that you can kind of go to that's like a knowledgeable sort of connection for like that technical advice, but then also is working to produce new products in the US. Europe, sure. I mean, the machines were huge there comparatively. So thank you for kind of serving as an outlet for people that want to get back into that hobby. Maybe they had one as a kid, or they worked at a college or something like that where they had access to them. So it's a
Yeah,
good
we've
time
had
to be
plenty of
back in the
people.
hobby.
Yeah, we've had plenty of people send, whether Mac or Amiga, their childhood, or a college system, and it was dead, didn't work. We were able to get it working for them. We try to be as fair price wise. Sometimes we don't charge for extra time, so if we find it's worse than we thought, we generally don't worry about it. We just want people to
That's
get their
awful
stuff
nice.
back and working.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
Yeah, I would say it's also trustable and friendly. That's kind of difficult to get in the Amiga community, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I send Javier stuff all the time, and all I get back in the mail is a Polaroid of Javier flipping me off. So I understand how that goes with having people that are actually very friendly and kind in the community. I'm kidding, Javier. It's nothing. They're actually cheesecake photos, if I can be honest. So
Can you tell I like to lean on my friend Javier.
Oh, hold on. But anyway, yeah. Since I met Thomas, my conception of Amiga has changed a lot. To be honest, I'm serious. I met him. I normally didn't like too much Amiga people because they were a little bit snooty, and I met Thomas, and I was like, damn, this is the way everybody should be in the Amiga community. So kudos to you, man. You put the Amiga in a big part, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we a lot of times we'll be at VCF East, and we've had people bring their stuff by. We don't expect anything when somebody brings their stuff by, unless it's more involved, like we're doing a full recap. Hey Joe, not you Joe, the other Joe. But yeah, I've got somebody just said in chat, I got a bunch of their boards. I just finished up their 3000 and I think 3 of their 2000s that are all now back fully working. So and again, and they're 4 sharp 68,000s. So we work on everything. We don't, if it's something we can't do, we'll admit it, but if it's something we can try and help with, I mean, I worked on some Russian clone. I forget what it was, like a ZX Spectrum clone that had a shorted tantalum. Never seen one before, but you could take one skill and move it to another system. So, and we were just like, hey, have a good day. It was at VCF, our first time at VCF East, doing on-site work. So
last year I brought my interocitor to VCF East, and as everybody knows, once it's assembled, no interocitor part can be replaced. Thomas figured it out. So me and my friend Joe, we were able to contact the aliens, and basically I've just described the first 10 minutes of This Island Earth.
That's right.
I have no idea. I don't know what's
the sci-fi movie. Come on,
Ron, you're special tonight.
I know.
No, for me, the community's been, the biggest thing is, everybody coming by, or what have you, if without a community, you're just kind of like sitting there, in a silo, and it's no fun.
Absolutely. So what have you been working on lately, Thomas? Anything cool? Any cool project that's maybe not directly related to Amiga of Rochester, like something specific just for you, a fun me project? What's going on in your world?
So not actively, but I've done a lot of repair work of like things I've not that were more challenging. I have a quality assurance background in software, so for me, the things that are really fun are the things that kind of make me go, "Why is this happening?" So, or just how do I figure this out? I kind of sadly spend most of my time working on other people's stuff. But one of the things I've done recently was I did some CPU swaps for the Amiga 4000 CPU, and that I kind of learned using surface mount stencils, because I don't generally build things from scratch. So that was a lot of like learning like how to work with the manufacturer, what they want, getting size right, and then actually applying that. It seems still Amiga Rochester, but most of my life is that for the most part. I don't, because it's so busy.
Mhm.
But that was fun for me to try and do something new because I don't generally build something that's not already partially assembled.
Sure, sure. And one thing that I heard that you started doing recently is blue scuzzies.
Yes,
Ooh.
I will actually have them available at VCF East. I'll have a few kits if somebody is interested in building one themselves. If they're not comfortable, they want to build it on site. I'll have soldering equipment. We could go over it together. So, you know,
That is
and
awesome.
yeah, that was actually how I got started doing stuff at East. Was originally I wanted to do like soldering on hands on, but it didn't really go very well. But then Glitchworks already kind of does a similar thing, so it was kind of overlapping. So I just started working on stuff for people, and everyone kept bringing me stuff. And I've gone to Midwest, and now I'm doing East again, and so hopefully it becomes a yearly thing, and
That's good.
we can do more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if somebody wants to build one, I'll have pretty much all three available: external, PowerBook, and internal models.
Very cool.
Cool. Awesome.
And they all have Wi-Fi, so you can put your Mac on the internet or your Amiga if it has SCSI.
Oh,
I can't get mine on the internet because some idiot was running his blue SCSI with an open case and shorted 12 volts or 5 volts to ground and
Shouldn't do
popped
that.
the SCSI fuse on his SE30 board. I was
But-
emulating my best friend Javier.
I was gonna
I,
say, that's me.
mm,
That's the only one. I trademarked the 12 volts to ground, so you cannot do that.
Hey,
without
imitation is the highest form of flammability. I mean, flattery. So, let's move on to our second guest for a little bit. Let's talk to Justin. What's new in Justin's world, buddy? What's going on with you?
Well, what is new with me? Well, for the longest time, I was trying to get ready to go to VCF East, but that's not happening. So I know, I'm not actually going to make it to VCF East this year. So what's new with me?
If I put on the glasses, will you go?
Ah,
This one's stuck.
I
There
mean,
it
on Dave's stream, I think I got the floppy drive that was in the computer that's going to be my Quadra 700 CD. I think I got that floppy drive sorted out. So,
That's
because
good.
all of Marchintosh, I tried making a Quadra 700 CD, which doesn't actually exist. I made it up, and I didn't actually get it done. So,
I've been legally approved to fill in for Justin at VCM East.
yeah, I did remember to send buttons and stickers to Steve. So
That's
there will be my buttons and stickers there, just not me.
Yeah.
That's good. Awesome.
So-
Well,
Yeah.
which one of us is that? It's not me. I'm not going to East.
So
That's
anyway,
awesome.
oh yeah, and I was also working on my first computer rebuild project.
Mhm.
So
Good.
Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome.
yes.
Ron, what's
yes.
going on in your world, buddy?
Hey everyone, it's
Yeah.
Ron from Ron's Computer Videos. I'll actually be at East. So the organizers reached out to me maybe about 6 or 8 months ago and said, you know what, all the actual talent is staying home this year. So we've got plenty of places on the schedule. Would you like to be here? And I said, well, when you put it like that, sure. And so I'll be at East all 3 days. Friday, I'm actually helping our good friend Steve, Mac84, do a panel on repairing and upgrading classic Mac machines. It should be something along the lines of the show that we normally do for VCF Midwest. And, just to try to bring it to a new audience in person. And then on Friday evening, I'm actually part of the webcasters panel where it'll be Ash Says Hi, Amiga Bill, myself, Kat from K-Fest will be there. And I'm trying to think. I'm leaving someone out. I feel really bad, but it is being moderated by our good buddy Action Retro. So I am doing everything, or actually, I was doing everything that I could to brush up on all of my knowledge about the entire run of Spider-Man, both in the comics and the movies, and sort of like other mediums, video games, things like that. And I have been working on this for weeks, and then they told me it's about making content for YouTube. So I feel like a fool, but we are we're redoing things, and hopefully I will be able to be there and represent a learned and interesting sort of person in that non man spider sort of universe. So
Yes, Ron is Spider-Man.
But you're still doing that Spider-Man stuff later, right? That's going to be another video on your channel. Right?
They said that after the event closes, I can do whatever I want. So
It's not
so
there,
any
though, right?
yeah, so any thin lines of sticky fluid connecting various things around, that's somebody else. That was not me. That is not my take on the web slinging universe. But I just, more or less, it's just going to be me in the corner saying like, "Greetings, true believer," just over and over again. So we'll see how it works out.
Okay.
Well, then.
Actually, if you've never been to VCF Midwest and you happen to be in the New Jersey adjacent this coming weekend, you should definitely come and check the show out. There's a lot of really cool things going on. I'm saddened that Justin's not going to be there. Justin was there last year. He had a really great exhibit and spent a lot of time just sitting there talking to people about the cool things that he brought to show off, and was the most patient person I had ever seen when it came to people who wanted to force conversations on him about things that had nothing to do with what he was there to talk about. More than once, people came up to his booth and they were like, "Oh, well, what are you showing off?" And Justin's like, "Oh, I got this like Mac, and we're talking about HyperCard, and we're doing all these other things." And he goes, "This one time, when I was in the 1970s, this PDP-11 that I was working on was like." So,
You're thinking of Bigfoot the monster truck, but thanks for a great question.
right. So, but no, it'll be a really great show. I really encourage everybody to check it out. You can learn more information on the interwebs, VCF East, through their website. But no, I'll be there on Friday. That's kind of the big thing that's happening right now. I'm also working on some various different projects with Joe. I'm trying before I get out of town to kick a video out all about benchmarking IDE devices on 68040 Macintoshes. We will see how it goes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Nice.
On the air.
I've been just
Javier's world. I know you've got a lot of stuff going on.
yeah. Well, it's April Apples. It's April Apples.
And the Apple II is your thing. It's like your bread and butter. So tell us.
Plus, it's the anniversary, huh?
Yeah, I know. April 1st this year. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And the 24th is the anniversary of the Apple IIc. Cool. So yeah, that was 40 years. So I got a bunch of things that I've been doing, and I'm going to be doing more things. And actually, MacFX has some stuff coming pretty soon. Some Apple IIc clear cases, maybe. Yeah. And we're preparing more little things and more.
Somebody help! My eyebrows have gotten weird.
Yeah, goodies. So and also I've been working, as you've seen my videos lately, on some recreations or redoing the floppy EMU. So I've been doing this thing, and it's a new take on the floppy EMU that somebody did a few months ago, and I'm doing in 3D printing, and it's looking pretty good actually. So it's coming along very well.
So again, what does that do? It allows you to mount the floppy EMU inside of like a Disk 2 case?
Yep. So you mount it in a Disk 2 case, you put it over here, and then you got a PCB with 4 buttons over here, then a larger screen, and then your card, you can put it over here in a card reader, and then the lights. I bring the lights with tubes, so they can, you see the lights flicker in the front, so it looks like an authentic. Oh, everything is bad in the back, but yeah, it looks like a real drive, and you can put it in your drives, and it works.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
and I'm also redoing this one, just revamping some little things, putting more nice stuff. Another PCB, the lights, and everything like that. It's the same. This was in BCF Midwest last year, so I'm just gonna try to have a newest version and start selling kits. And the same with that one. We're gonna try to sell kits for people that want it, and one or two full products. So
that is
working on that.
Super awesome, sir.
Yeah, it's been really cool to kind of see the evolution on that, and kind of like your original, because you kind of had some little drawings that you had made up where it was just kind of sketching out what your plan was, and it was, and you were like, I want to do this, I want to do this, and it was very, very ambitious. So it's really cool to kind of see it like come to fruition as like,
and it's getting better
product. Yeah,
it's getting better, because I'm gonna have actually two versions of the same. One is gonna be like a plug and play, that you take your emulator and just put it in and kind of works. And the other one is a little bit more convoluted, but it looks beautiful. So we'll see.
50 Shades of Beige is asking, are you 3D printing the light tubes? He's only had success with less than 10 millimeter ones.
No, I'm using light tubes that they sell online for. Actually, I think they're for cars. So you put them in your car and you got lights everywhere. But these flexible tubes are good. Yeah, I'm gonna make a little program about my process and what I've been doing, because it's a lot of learning and development and research, but it's fun, it's cool. Yeah, so you learn from your mistakes, and I got a lot.
Plus, Javier, didn't you say that you actually found a source for extra tiny photons off AliExpress? So those light pipes could go down even
everywhere.
5 mil. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's from Russia, from some.
I was on AliExpress a couple nights ago, and I found this thing they called liquid light. It was really weird.
No, but yeah, it's cool. It's gonna look really nice, and it's gonna be good. Yeah,
that'd be great.
Cool, awesome. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Technically speaking, we're supposed to be in this mode so you can see us. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe. I've been busy.
How busy have you been?
Boy, are my arms tired. Anyway, wait, that's the wrong joke. No, seriously. As a lot of you may have known, I semi-recently started my own business. Aside from the retro doodles, I do the same job I've been doing for 25 years, but on my own now. And that's unfortunately taken a lot of my spare time, because I've been in, how can we say, startup mode or spin up mode for a lot of the clients, and deploying lots of things to get them on my infrastructure. So that's kind of taken me away from some of the fun stuff. So if I've seemed a little tired lately, that's why. And I apologize to anybody who has come for the wonderful, awesome, hyper energetic Joe that you've come to know and love, and I'm kind of half asleep. I'm kind of in Trina sleep mode. We can make fun of her if she's not here, right? That's the rule. So yeah, other than that, I have a lot of cool things that have been going on. Other than that, one of the things I've been working on the last couple days is this thing, the Micro Mac Performer. I've talked about this before.
Oh yeah.
And we're redesigning it a little bit so that these chips here can have sockets instead of being placed directly on, so that Scarlett, no, sleepy like Trina, did I say it wrong?
No.
Hey Trina. Anyway, so no, seriously. So we can put sockets on here. Because the PAL chips that you get these days aren't really the same spec that this board is originally designed with. So we need to be able to swap out a chip if it doesn't work and replace it. It allows for better quality control during the production of these. So I've been working on moving all of these traces and pads and stuff and these resistors and capacitors out of the way because the sockets take up too much space. Once that's done, I'm also probably going to undesign, I should say, a lot of the stuff up here because this is for like a 68020, which is not going to be deployed in this product. So yeah, if you see my right screen here, I've been doing a lot of that over the past couple days. I'm still working in the background, of course, on the what's the thing down there? The Apple II card for the PC, whatever it's called, the Diamond Trackstar Pro.
Yeah.
Trackstar Plus. I have the PC. I've said this for the last 3 weeks now, last 3 or 4 weeks now. I have the Diamond Trackstar Plus board done. I just have to get enough 2 or 3 hours of solid time where I can actually build all of the components on the board, get one built and test it. I'm 99.9% sure that's going to test perfectly fine. And if it does, then that can go into production. And I'm aiming to get that done before K-Fest this year so that whether I go to K-Fest or not, I'll have those available so people can order those. So that will be really good. Don't quote me on that, but that's my goal. I really want that to be done. Knowing Joe is half the battle. G.I. me! Anyway, the other big thing, though, that just came in a couple days ago is that.
Ooh.
This is my test version, minus one little chip here, of the Pico Gus by our friend Polpo, also Ian Scott. I am now an authorized reseller of these things. So all I have to do is pop a memory chip on there and flash program this and see if it works. And if the design works, that means I have all my processes worked out. And then I will be purchasing 480 of these guys in one large chunk for the community because as everybody who follows the Pico Gus knows, Polpo, he goes and orders 700 of them and they disappear in 3 days. They just boom. So I'm going to order that many, and the moment they arrive, I'm just going to order more because they're just going to keep going. So it's going to be cool to have a second source in the community.
Yes, yeah,
and we can kind of like maybe stagger our sources and whatever so that we can just keep the flow going for people.
And those cards are amazing. I have one in my 486 machine, and for folks that don't know, it lets you emulate a bunch of classic sound cards. You can emulate a Gus, of course, a Gravis Ultrasound. That was kind of like in the name, but there's been a ton of other things that have been added to it, like ad-lib support. It'll do the Creative Music System, CMS, which was kind of a short-lived sound card that Creative Labs did. It'll do kind of like MPU 401 emulation. So because it has a MIDI out, so you can actually do active mode MIDI. So that way, if you have a real MT32, or I tested it, if you have a virtual, like a MUNT, the Raspberry Pi MT32, it'll work with that. So I mean, it's really neat, and this has really like lowered the entry cost for doing doing a lot of fun things with classic sound cards. So yeah, thank you, Ian, for doing all this. Ian actually, I did some horse trading with him at VCF Midwest last year, and liked it so much I bought a second one. So Joe, my 486 machine has 8 ISA slots. How many of these cards should I reasonably purchase? 9?
At least 7, because you're going to need that one slot for your video.
Who needs video when you've got such wonderful sound?
I think he needs 13, a baker's dozen, 13.
Yes.
Because you're going to want to install multiples in your computer, but then you're going to want to give them to all your friends.
Yeah, and then you got to rotate them around so you don't wear them out. Who was it? Triple T asked a question. Why is there no crystal on these accelerators? That is a really good question. No crystal on the accelerator. As you can see with the little solder blob, this grabs the clock off of the machine. You can, in theory, put an accelerator here and clock the whole board up, but we haven't tested it in that mode.
Oh.
Part of the reason is it's hard to find chips that are faster enough that makes sense. We're putting 33 megahertz chips in these, and when you tap off the bus, it runs at 33. So like we could put a faster clock and make it run at 40, but then it might crash. It doesn't really make sense to put it on there. And we're spending like an extra $3 for a crystal that doesn't really do anything for the product. So anyway,
But it looks nice.
it looks. I mean, I can put it on there and charge you $3 and just also bridge the solder underneath so it doesn't. Do
Only
anything.
$3. What a steal!
Yeah. So Pico, that's really cool. No, think of the IRQ, says Garth. But
He was
yeah,
joking.
absolutely.
Joking.
So cool stuff going on in Joe. Yeah. Thomas.
Yes.
Now is the time of the stream where we talk about cool toys that you've gotten recently. And it's your turn. So you get to tell us of the cool computer toys.
Trina,
you gotta
that's
be-
yours.
All right.
Don't
Well,
worry.
now I got to think about that again.
You got to be careful because oftentimes Trina will be like, anyway, here's what I got off of adamandeve.com. And we're like,
Yes,
no,
It's
no.
like you can't show that on television,
Yeah.
even internet television.
I
You
got to be
can't
careful.
do it
My
on
wife
television.
just walked by. I can't, say too much publicly. She might. Let's see. Recently, what have I gotten? I haven't really gotten any stuff for myself, but I've gotten to work on some cool toys. I'm working on a batch of Sharp X68000s,
Neat.
which is actually one of my Grail systems, if if I want to use that term. They're kind of for anyone that doesn't know, the Sharp 68000 X68000 was a line of Sharp computers that was as close to arcade titles as you could get, because Konami actually ported pretty much 1-to-1 their arcade games to the X68000. It's very common in anime. You'll see it. It looks like two towers together, and it's a pretty well respected system for its time. It kind of, for what it's worth, is what the Amiga would love to be. I know that some people might argue that, but it's a pretty beast of a system, and I got 4 of them in the lab right now, being worked on. The good news is, so far, all 4 of them are working.
That's great.
2 came in with battery damage. They need new crystals because the crystals got destroyed, and of course they're a really weird spec. But once that's sorted out, they'll be working. I could say some of the cool toys I have is I have a bunch of arcade games. I have about 30 of them, so that's probably one of the cooler things I have. Authentic, not arcade one-up replicas, but actual. And I do own a Neo Geo, which is a 68,000 arcade system. So keep it into the family.
Cool beans.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were the X68000. Konami or Capcom rather did like a lot of their development for their arcade systems on that machine. So like, doesn't the 60000 or the X68000 have the exact same sound chip that was used on like the CPS2 arcade hardware?
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty much direct arcade ports. Like, yeah, they did a lot of development that way. I think I'm pretty sure Konami did too. Like, I think no, that one came out on the TurboGrafx, I believe. But there's a lot of Konami games as well that are very like sound and graphics wise very impressive for the time.
Wow. Very cool.
Sorry, I'm having ADHD moments. I apologize.
No, you're just being Joe. Like, like you said, knowing Joe is half the battle. So.
That's cool.
So, Justin, what's going on? What's going on in your world? What cool toys have you gotten? Especially any April toys.
All right. So, what toys have I received.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need to rename this segment to Justin's eBay Regrets. Let's do that.
Yep.
How did you know everything I'm going to discuss came from eBay? Because it's my modus operandi. All right.
We know
moving
you,
on.
Justin. We know you, buddy.
All right. Everything I've recently purchased was going to be for my exhibit at VCF East. So, anyways, the first thing, I have a copy of the book, Basic Programming for Kids, with the dust jacket. I actually found this on eBay.
That's cool.
We're going to do a little archaeology here momentarily. So this book was a library book. Interestingly enough, the last due date stamped here is February 21st, 1996.
Ooh.
So this book's had some interesting history. Anyways, so I had a copy of this book, but it didn't have the dust jacket. So now I have one with the dust jacket. It's in decent shape for an elementary school library copy. I also bought, and I don't have it up here with me because it is incredibly fragile thanks to probably poor seller packaging and FedEx doing what FedEx does with packages that look like they're not properly packaged. I managed to find the same monitor, albeit with a different logo, because Zenith used two logos. But I found the Zenith ZCM 1490 monitor that I had bought back in 1997 for $50.
Ooh.
You
Now,
bought
of
it in
course,
$1997 for $50, or you
I
bought it
I
now
bought it
for
in
$50?
97 for $50.
Okay,
I bought it now for
more.
$150.
That'll happen.
Except, of course, the seller packaged it in packing peanuts in a reused box. I think it yeah, Joe's like cringing because, okay, if you are a CRT lover, you probably need to just like breathe. Okay, it'll be okay, folks. Just breathe. Okay. All right. They did ship it face down. The tube is intact. However, there is so much broken plastic. I have yet to throw the box away because I need to sort through all the packing peanuts to see if I can find any more of the beige plastic bits. But
Yes.
it broke, like the bezel is broken. In fact, I think it's bad. You can actually touch the tube because of where the broken pieces are. And I think it sustained a hit on the board because if you let it run for like 10 minutes, the red beam shuts off.
Oh.
So
it's
it
got a bad joint. Yep.
there's a bad joint in it too. So anyways, yeah. Actually the seller refunded me 100%. So actually the 2024 price was $0, but I haven't done anything about the repair yet or sorting through the box for the last of the plastic bits because I am holding it for a total of 30 days just in case FedEx wants it.
Yeah.
I am not going to attempt to repair it until I am sure that
Right.
FedEx is not going to want it. Because if FedEx wants it, FedEx gets it because, well, I'm not paying the seller back $150 for a broken monitor.
Right.
Mhm.
And the thing is, they've got another one. Then I had to stop myself from buying it because I'm afraid they're just going to pack it the same way.
They'll do it the same
I won't
thing.
request a refund on this one if you pack it correctly.
But anyways, the other thing I did buy, I also did manage to figure out what keyboard and mouse I had with my first computer. And I actually did buy the Mitsumi keyboard and Mitsumi mouse. The keyboard looks to be in good shape, although it's a membrane keyboard, so its key feel is like, the mouse has no scroll wheel. I probably paid just as much now as I did then. And then I got new and now I got used. So anyways, yes, I had bought because I was going to have, next place I exhibit, I will have my first PC rebuild there, even if I don't have a monitor for it. But yeah, I was going to bring that. And that's why I kind of had this push to find those last few parts. So that's also I was sent something by someone who's not in the chat, but I'm going to hold admitting to what it is until my live stream Tuesday. So I do have a few more things to admit to, but I'm holding that to unboxing it. Well, recreating the unboxing on my live stream on Tuesday.
That's cool.
I had to make sure it wasn't perishable, liquid, or fragile.
Yes.
It was actually exactly what I should have expected it to be.
Yeah, you had to make sure that you didn't have any fruit to declare. I understand.
Yes.
In response to Justin's continuous bad experiences with eBay sellers and their shipping, I'm proposing a new retro month this year. We're going to take September away from the Tandy lovers, and we're going to call it Shipping September. And it's going to be nothing but non-stop educational videos teaching people how to ship crap correctly.
Actually, I say we steal Packvember from the Packard Bell folks, and we make it for packing, like packing computers. Packvember. Right. No, I can't do that to the Packard Bell folks. There's some really fine Packard Bell folks out there.
Yeah, but there's like only 3 of them, so it's fine.
Yeah, let's see. There's Billy Core, there's Retrotech Chris, and yeah, you're right. There's only like 3 of them.
Rudy's Retro Intel. We should create our own retro eBay site.
Yeah.
84.
In hookers.
That's a good tip, Steve. Tip 1, don't remove screws from inside of the system for no reason.
Yeah.
Tip 2, double box, especially monitors, double box them.
To anybody who doesn't know what Steve's referring to, he bought a 630 CD or something similar of that design, and full pictures and everything, and everything was intact in the right spot, and the screws holding the CD drive were in place. When he received it, the screws were not in place, and the CD drive took a launch. It decided to exit its continuum, so to speak, and things broke. So,
there was one other thing I bought. I just realized, but it wasn't retro.
Oh yeah,
but it might be. It might go into service for streaming. But I had bought an X99 motherboard for 2011 V3 and V4 2011 V3 processors. The auction description showed that it had a processor in it. So it's like, yay, they are going to ship it with the processor because it said nothing about it didn't include the processor. I was like, yes, it's going to have a processor in it to protect that valuable socket.
Yeah.
No, it didn't include the processor. I think the socket's okay, but yeah.
eBay, where regrets go to live and thrive.
Yeah.
Also, I should probably announce I do have a merch store, shop.jdmcs.com. And yes, some regret-based merchandise is in my folder waiting for me to bother to export it to the proper format.
Dude, all I have to say is
mugs and stuff.
All I have to say is you have to have a shirt that's like a beige color, and it just says on the front, I bought it on eBay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need a sound effect for that. So yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm also dealing with sciatica. That's why I'm sitting here tonight.
Oh.
So yeah. Well, Ron.
Yes.
Toys.
Oh gosh. Give me just 1 second to think on this. Actually, I will tell you kind of. I don't know if it's really like. Yeah, I guess I can just talk about it. I recently I'm working on a video. It'll have to be after VCF East, but I acquired the rarest Performa model that Apple ever made. And it's a machine that was produced. It's part of a partnership between Apple Computer and retailers and a certain publisher. And so I will do a video all about it as soon as I get that all put together. I bought a new webcam. Our friend of the show, Sloopy Malibu, he found these soon as I can figure out how to do this and not knock things over, found these sort of like USB DVR security cameras.
Mhm.
And they're really cool because you can manually adjust focus. You can control the f-stop. You can do it's like a webcam, but it's got glass on the front of it that lets you
Nice.
adjust all kinds of things. As you can see, I
For
think
example,
Joe is using his right now. There is nothing automated about this camera. It is 100% like you are making it happen, and it's really cool. It's really cool. So I've been playing with this. Of course, Marchintosh just wrapped up. I've got all kinds of great printouts and things like that people sent me on Marchintosh that, I got a whole stack of that stuff. I want to do a video about that eventually, but just have been so darn busy. So, but yeah, lots of neat little things. I'm sure I'm forgetting fun things that people have sent me, and I apologize, but it's this has been just such a great month of all kinds of fun things.
I gotta say,
Rudy,
I've been looking for a camera just like that for so long. I can't tell you, like, because everything I've seen has been like digital point and shoots, and I'm like, I'm not spending that kind of money for something. I'm just gonna use one. So I may need a link.
They're on Amazon. We will let you know when they're back on sale. Or I'll send you a link and you can definitely go. But when we bought these, like Joe bought one, I bought one. I think Sloopy picked up one or two, and I'm glad you like it. Maybe one day I will get one. Sloopy, I thought you bought one. That was the whole point of us having this big long conversation. But the cameras, they were like $40, and now they're like $140.
Very good.
Like, they were like 50% off, and then when I looked, there was also another 30% off coupon.
Yeah.
So it's like this $120 camera I got for $43. It was insanity.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yes, please. And it ended up being perfect, like in this instance for bench work. It gets the whole bench. You can zoom right in or right out to whatever you need to get to.
Nice.
And it when you set it at a setting, it's just like, oh, it's super dark. Oh, it's super bright. You can just like set it exactly where it needs to be for what you're doing. Yeah. And it doesn't. That's the downside of like having a completely automated camera, because sometimes it'll hunt, right? And so this, you just set it where it needs to be, and it sits there. Like, for example, my face cam right now is in Joe is on the surface of Tatooine.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's like this, but it is. But that other camera doesn't do that. So yeah.
And
It's
30
because you
seconds
have literally like 4 trillion lumen down there, Joe.
And 30 seconds later, your camera will decide to be Joe in totality.
It's probably my shirt. It's probably because the shirt's black. It's blowing the picture out. But anyway. Javier, toys.
Oh. Well, other than my things that I'm doing in 3D, I just acquired something very cool.
Ooh.
And this is it. Oh, yeah. This is official God Bomb reproduction of the Mac. This is an adapter for the Mac Plus and the Classic Macs. So you can connect a joystick, an Atari joystick, and you can play certain games with an Atari joystick on the Mac. So it originally was from a game called Macman. And I sent it to the adapter. I sent it to Godbomb, and he reproduced it. So now we're gonna have these ones pretty soon, also in my store. So we're gonna be able to sell it. Thanks to Godbomb, because he's a genius there. So that's what I got.
Cool.
Does that plug into the serial port or the mouse port?
Plugs into the mouse port, and then it replaces the mouse. You put a joystick. And the joystick acts you can use the joystick as a mouse, although it's not very good for that. But you can play a few games, not a bunch, but few games like that Macman and Apache Strike, I think, and one or two more. So it's worth it. It's pretty good, and it's nifty.
Yeah, it's way cool, and it's definitely something that back in the days before there really wasn't like a lot of like dedicated Mac gaming. Even like the best joysticks for Macs are basically just mouse emulators.
Yep.
So this is super unique that you actually had something that was not just taking the mouse and just like replicating it in joystick form. It's kind of like there's some actual like, oh, okay, it's just like digital, just like up, down, left, right, you know.
Yep. And the cool thing is that a lot of people in the Mac 60A MLK or whatever it's called, they were looking for it, and several people were saying that it wasn't, they weren't able to get one, and they tried to make one by themselves, and it was a bunch of things. So now we're going to be able to tell them, hey, we got it available. So because they were looking for it. So
Pretty cool.
yeah.
Oh wait, sorry.
Joe,
What?
what's new with you?
Oh, just everything. So I wanted to recent gets. Here's the thing with me and recent gets. None. Most of my recent gets have been parts to make things. So like 1,000 brackets for the Pico Gus, and like MIDI cables for the Pico Gus, and just whatever. It's been product place for Joe, unfortunately. So I don't really have a lot of cool toys, but I will use this as an opportunity to be a opportunistic shill for capitalism. The best thing I can talk about are some of the cool new things that I have developed in concert with Javier and Gutbomb and some other people in the community. A lot of it surrounding basically the Blue SCSI, effectively. I did want to talk about real quick. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. Oh my gosh! Oh no! Here it is. So if we go here and we go to Classic Macintosh, the Clipper Plus is the big thing that I wanted to talk about, and this basically allows you to have your SCSI port inside your Mac Plus. So that you can have the external SCSI port for whatever you want to have it for or whatever. So the biggest problem with this, though, is that where are you going to mount it, right? Where are you going to like put your SCSI thing inside the Mac Plus? Well, my friend Javier, being the awesome 3D designer that he is, designed this cool thing, which clips onto the hard drive bracket or the floppy drive bracket of the Mac Plus, and then you can mount the Blue SCSI upside down. So you can actually mount that in the machine in combination with the Clipper Plus. So together, it just makes a really good way to get that inside the machine, not having something hanging off the back that you could bump into, break, or do whatever. It's a thing. Other things that have been going on in the world here are my wonderful friend Eric of Eric's Edge posted on the Macintosh Friends Discord. I really wish they would make a rear facing or front whatever his challenge was, but basically a bracket for the SE for the new Blue SCSI. Mm-hmm. So I did it. And my design is not as pretty and elegant as Javier's, mostly because I'm a bad designer, and I had to heavily borrow from Potato Fi's bracket design. But this thing here is now available so that you can just download it if you want to. You don't have to buy it from me. But it allows you to mount the Blue SCSI V2 initiator version in the back panel of an SE or SE30, which is cool. But the other idea that was inspired by him, and I'm like, I can do this, is this cool thing. So a front mount for your Blue SCSI V2 initiator, which allows you on your SE, on your standard SE, in the extra hard drive hole here, to actually mount the Blue SCSI up through the front of the machine. I'm trying to find
the extra floppy drive area for on
whatever,
like
whatever the thing at the top, whatever,
like on a C, sure.
Yeah, you break the little bracket out, and then this it mounts to right here. It uses these little thingadoodles to mount to the existing floppy bracket, and then you can have your card come out of the front of the machine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you don't need the rear, you don't need any of the fancy stuff. It's just right there and just go boop. So cool stuff. And Eric's Edge then took this design, and he is working on a full bracket that will actually mount it down here where the floppy goes. So for the SE30, for example, so you could just take the floppy out of the SE30, because the SE30 doesn't have a hole up here.
Mhm.
And you could put this thing down here. So he's modifying my design to do that. So lots of cool little things that I've just been kind of doing. I know it's more of, what are you working on, Joe? But it's like, it
is.
Yeah.
I've been so busy with the with my IT job in combination with these projects for folks that Joe hasn't been playing much. He's been working too hard. But we'll get to the other side of it, and hopefully by next episode I'll have some cool toys to play with, like I don't know, the weather the weather machine. I really want to get back to that.
Yeah.
Mostly because Trina and Javier have some sort of weird bet going on, and I have to just prove Trina wrong and actually get it on the bench and work on it, so that Javier can have money to fix all of the stuff that he breaks by putting 12 volts to ground. See, I'm helping the community. You see,
How nice.
this is what I'm doing. This is the process. So yeah,
I break, he fixes.
Mhm.
yes, something like that. But the weather machine, I've talked about it before, but I want to talk about it again because I think it's just the most fascinating thing.
Mhm. Plus,
It's
the
basically-
government of Argentina is starting to think that these are all idle threats, that you're not really a mad scientist,
Yeah, but I am.
So hopefully your weather machine comes to fruition soon.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like a public access titling advertising box. But when I was playing around with it for the first time, I found it's got a video in where you can put graphics over a video feed, kind of like a green screen, or it's like a real old school titler.
Mhm.
So I want to get one of these cameras like I have over the bench and point it out a window, or just mount it outside and have it watch the actual weather. And every 30 seconds, it'll actually show you the outside with the weather that's going on. And I'm just going to stream it to the internet 24/7.
Joe, can you make it to where there is a clip that plays every 30 seconds whenever it does that update, where it says, "Now hear what's happening in your corner of the world"?
I absolutely can.
Sweet.
I can script all that. That'd be fun. So that's the thing I want to do. But that's going to require a lot of reverse engineering. And I've talked about that before, because it gets live weather data from a couple different sources, but none of it's documented how it actually does that. So I have to reverse engineer the physical hardware, so I understand how the software talks to the hardware to figure out how to tap into that hardware and feed it the data that is expected. So
Well, this next weekend it's VCF East, and mostly all there's these guys that bring their weather stations over there. Maybe they can give you
the Tech
Mhm.
Nights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tech Knight and his friend Jesse have pointed me in to a lot of great resources about this old machine, which got me to where I am now with it, to be able to know that it's pretty certain I'll be able to, well, within my limited brain power, be able to reverse engineer the communications protocols and stab data at this thing and tell it what to go do with itself. So, yeah. But yeah, what?
I'm excited.
Me too.
And I
It's
just
gonna be
can't
fun.
hide it.
I'd love to get back to the Lisa. It's just been, the poor thing's been sitting there since mostly idle since past K-Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got it half rebuilt, and then my former employer decided to stop doing a business, and I had to do crap. So yeah,
makes it tough.
Uh-huh.
Cool. So what else is going on with anybody? Anybody want to talk about whatever? Because we're running a little short tonight.
I remembered. I did remember a toy I got that I don't know how I completely forgot about. I got an X1 Carbon, bamboo X1 Carbon.
Nice.
Ooh,
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
That is live right now. It is printing something.
Yep.
I got a really good deal on it locally. It was about a 3-hour drive round trip. It was $800 with the AMS.
Wow,
that's
cheap.
great.
With
Somebody,
some filament.
yeah.
I honestly thought I was going to end up there and nobody would be there. There'd be no printer, but nope, it was real. It was pretty seamless. But yeah, that's the most recent actual like toy
Nice.
that for me that I've gotten.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very. It prints beautifully. I just tell it, hey, print these brackets.
Yes. And that's the thing about the X1 Carbon. It is a refrigerator. You're like, make print cold, please. And it's like, hey, and it happens. There's none of this fiddling and tweaking and stuff, which is a fun part of the process for a lot of makers. They like making the machine do the thing, but I got crap to get done.
Can do these things.
So I don't have time to be fiddling with the printer. So yeah,
It's got a nice wide bed or a nice print area. Yeah. And it's quiet. Like it could be, because it's enclosed. It's very quiet. I'm very pleased with the quality, and I'm coming from a Prusa, so
yeah. I do want to note a note. Curtis Boyle noted here. The newest version of Nitrous 9 is out for your Coco 2s and Coco 3s with the awesome chips in them. That's been coming for a while. Lots of cool little feature and ease of use updates because it's part of the ease of use update if memory serves. So if you're into the Coco community, go out and grab that and tell us how it works. We would love to hear about it. Yes.
I got to do that.
Yes. Yeah. Stuff. Things. Anybody got anything else? No.
Doing all right.
Well, it kind of ran short tonight, and that happens sometimes. Sometimes we kind of just run through things, but that's okay. So I think we should go ahead and spin things up for tonight. Let's go around the room and say where everybody can find us, and plug our cool things. We'll start with Thomas.
All right. You can find me on YouTube. Just search my name, Amiga of Rochester. I forget what the actual. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, all the usual socials. But you can find most of that on my website, amigaofrochester.com. You can check out my store.amigaofrochester.com. It's where you'll find the Blue Scuzzies, the Amiga products, if you're into that stuff. Possibly in the future, some very desirable thing that Joe has already mentioned, but I'm not going to say anything officially. But there's going to be talks going on.
I have
soon.
no idea what you could even be talking.
I've
got no clue at all.
So yep, and I do occasionally live stream repair work if it's interesting enough. But yeah, that's amigaofrochester.com. Check if you're at VCF East or Midwest, I'll be there. Stop by. I'd love to just talk. So, yep.
Cool. Justin, why don't you tell everybody about April Apples one last time, and then tell everybody where they can find you.
All right. Yep. April is April Apples for all your 8-bit Apple computer content, including the 16-bit mode of the Apple II GS. So if you got an Apple I clone, Apple II, Apple III, Apple IIe card for your LC, an emulator, a clone, whatever, make a video, do a blog post, do a Twitter thread, take photos of it.
Hashtag April Apples so people can find it.
Yep. Yes.
Very important.
And if you want to check out April Apples merch, you can go to shop.jdmcs.com. And if you use coupon code AppleFools, that is AppleFools, then that'll give you 7% off.
Ooh.
And also you can find me on YouTube at JDMCS.
Cool. Awesome sauce. Ron.
Hey everyone, it's Ron from Ron's Computer Video. This is like the 9th time I've said it tonight, but anyway, I want to thank everybody for puttering around on my YouTube channel. There's probably going to be a big announcement while I'm gone out of town about my YouTube thing, but anyway, thank you to everybody. If you're interested in knowing more about what I've got going on, you live next door. I guess just use a set of binoculars, or you can go to ronscompvids.com. That's it.
Mr. Javier.
Well, you know it. 8bittees.com. I'm actually revamping it because I'm about to begin to sell. I'm already selling the joystick, the 3D joystick, and of course I got new products coming in. So keep looking. And Adventures of Retro Computing, it's the channel Master. So keep looking. I'm putting a lot of stuff, and yes, it has the April Apples hashtag. So check it out.
Do it.
Nope.
Do it, or Joe will get angry at you. Not that
Joe.
that means anything, but I'll still be angry at you.
Yep.
I'm a Jewish grandmother who makes you feel guilty. So the Wacky's back, guys. Hi, everybody. It's Joe with Joe's Computer Museum. You know how to find me. You can go to jcm-1.com and get things. And on there are, just like Ron's website, I've got links to my social media and stuff. So if you want to follow me ranting about how I can't get high-speed internet at home, to everybody on the internet who can listen, you can follow me on there. But mostly I'm just kind of around the internet, hanging out on other people's streams and trying to work with all the other cool people in the community to come up with cool things to keep our old computers working. You know, I've worked with Javier and lots of cool things. Ron's stuff is in my shop because he's come up with lots of cool designs to protect old machines from battery damage. Big Bad Biologist had the great idea for the Clipper Plus. I have a couple really cool things that are coming out in collaboration with Frank Frodo Jedi, and Sloopy Malibu of the Coco Nation group for Macs and IBM. So I love working with everybody out there to just have ways to keep these machines working forever. And so on behalf of Trina and everybody here tonight, thank you all for stopping by and watching us be crazy on the internet. Remember that you can always watch us on the first and third Sundays of every month. Our next episode will be 14 days from now on the 21st. We don't have a guest yet. I don't plan 5 minutes in the future, let alone 2 weeks. So Trina will yell at me like 4 days before the stream and say, I got this person for the stream. And that's usually how it works. So we'll figure it out that way. So again, thanks everybody for stopping by. Remember to subscribe and like and do all the stuff. And we will go on from there. Goodbye, everybody. Good night.